online viewers also have the opportunity to ask the question. Okay, Mom, please, you can ask.
Thank you. I think I'm getting like takut ya sekarang. So, but in front of us, there's lots of aqua also with waters. I don't know what happened. So now I think you have to start with the committee to provide the tumbler. So now start beginning, we just provide the tumbler, give to everyone, so then everyone can bring also to the coffee station to fill, right?
Okay, we'll try to find a sponsor for that.
Okay, very good. So thank you very much for the very impressive. Actually, this is the first time I saw the very good kind of information on the plastic, the tiny monster. Usually monster is very big, but this is very tiny and we call it monster. I guess everyone knows the dangers, I believe, but they don't have any option at the moment. So I know also the government is already try, perhaps not enough yet, but they try to have some solution. So to me, I was not a researcher. I just know that this is a kind of a very important topic that we have to pursue. I think friends in LIPI need to come up with the real research on the really the dangers of this plastic. I know that, for example, so far the information is like the one that you already show, also like more micro, which is the animal death because of choking, or it's like malnutrition perhaps, or something like that. But you also mentioned about this, actually this microplastic can also brings this toxic or something like that. So I guess if you and your friend and everyone in the university here perhaps can make some more research, and the research can be also publicized and put it in a very simple language, like a layman language, because sometimes I know I read lots of research paper by researcher which is I don't understand. So I know this impact, but I don't know how. What is this? This like curve and this. So, but please, if you can make it like help to socialize among friends, I think that's better. And for also for people here, so we are from the World Bank. Of course, we are trying to help also the government of Indonesia. We did last year a quick kind of like hotspot assessment on the marine debris, but to see it from the leakage. Actually, lots of leakage, as Mas Reza already mentioned, that 80% is from the land base. So actually, which part of the land base? So you can see lots of it, it's near the waterways. So that's, I think the government need to stop the leakage. That's the first thing before it's go to the ocean. So I know that also some contribution perhaps also from the ship or something like that, because I saw one video also that people from Pelni just throw. I saw in the WA group, yeah. So I think this is a thing very important for everyone to do the awareness campaign. So that's the most important. But the second, the one that I would like to see is how far actually from the scientific research, like for example, we can like tolerate this microplastic. Like for example, so far we seem eat also these microbeads, and then or in our facial we also use these microbeads. So how far is actually we can tolerate it? So, because somehow we cannot also far from the one that we actually invent, plastic invent by people, and then to help us, but then now seems like too much perhaps, so like beyond our tolerance level. So that's two of my comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Bu Ina. I also know that the World Bank also make a calculation from 15 cities, I guess. I forgot, 15 cities in all around Indonesia. Well, actually, I kind of participated on it while Mrs. Carrion already involved on it, and she is moving to the core map, I guess. That's a good thing that at least the committee should aware about this plastic bottle. I also agree with you. Well, actually, when I already told Cory about can we provide the tumbler, but the problem is the funding is too low, not really high. I hope on the next agenda, the committee will provide the tumbler to prevent the plastic trash that will go to the ocean. Yeah, of course, the research now, it's still running. We all still find out how much the microplastic that can tolerate by the marine organism. That's also one of our agenda to the human impact. Maybe not now, at least we know how much the microplastic on the water, on the sediment, and on the in the marine organism first, and then after that we will find out if the toxicity of the microplastic. So we have to do the research on the lab, and the last one we will find out how much the microplastic then can human body tolerate. Hopefully on the next 5 years we can find out, and then after that, after we publish it, we will write it down on some newspaper with the simple language, like you said, that we have to, let the people know the problem and the real problem, the consequence of the plastics, not only the big one, but also thank you. The microplastic, the nanoplastic, or even the picoplastic that has smaller than the blood cell. Yeah, but thank you very much for the comment and suggestion. We will do that, of course.
Before that, I would like to read some comments in our online live streaming. There's a comment from Tiga Junius, very nice layout of presentation, and from Camelia Tito, cool. And also there's a question from Faruk Kadami, microplastic is a monster?
Microplastic is a monster, the small one. Can you imagine, like it's not a hero like Ant-Man in the Marvel universe, but it's like a monster of course it's a monster that can make a problem to our environment, our lives, and everything. So I will call this a tiny monster, of course.
Okay, tiny monster, of course. Okay, now do you have any question from the back side? Yeah, ma'am, please.
And my name Fendi Susanti from PT Surveyor Indonesia, one of state-owned enterprise in Indonesia, and my basic education forest conservation. So I would like to make a little bit my insight there. I graduate from IPB. Very nice, very good presentation, and I would like to connecting the presentation first and now. And I know Jena Jambek, and I talked to her why you blame our country to be a second polluted by marine debris. Well, you reason and blah 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 blah. Actually, I said I cannot blame you as a scientist, because when we doing with the research, we have the method and so on. Yeah, so we cannot blame. And she answered my question at that she only make a secondary data. So when to do research this time, I'm very happy because we need to make a lot of research. And in this, I would like to connecting Miss Udi presentation and Mr. Udi presentation and Miss Reza. I look two presentation in Mr. Udi, but I forget that talk about the position Indonesia position, yeah. Maybe later I can give the presentation and connecting to SDGs because when we talk about our country Indonesia, we have to be careful because not only us to concern about our country, but the other country, the global country, very concerned about us. But we have to know the global country how that have to responsibility to our country, because have the responsibility in the SDGs. The goal of SDGs have to be reset at 2030. So when we talk about marine debris, we cannot blame only our country and see the source of waste from the Indonesia country, because the waste can come from the other country. And maybe all of you can look our country, the position our country, that lot of trapping because our country very unique archipelago. So that's we have to be careful when we're doing the research. And we have to look the gyres, yeah. In the global have the 5 gyres, so we have to watch that, yeah. To doing I mean the 5 gyres can influence how marine debris plastic can come to Indonesia country, something like that, yeah. And I'm very happy you doing the presentation put it the run because that's run Ministry of Coordinated Maritime do that, but have not yet signed by President, yeah. But for the KLHK that have the one some like regulation and have signed by President. Maybe you can come to Ministry of Environment, yeah. Here I would like to give the little bit maybe saga, something like that. We cannot blame the industry, because if we talk we have to ban plastic, we have to close industry. How our country economic, how? We cannot. But we have to looking for solution about how to change it, the plastics, something like make innovation, something like that. And not only Indonesia have problem about that. The other country, Europe, same with us. But in Europe, I went to Germany and they didn't use the plastic because they have the other what's mean? Change it for the plastic, yeah. The other substitute. So and now for the waste management, more important for us, we have to do waste management better, because all the countries now talk about the circular economy, and For example, for a circular economy, Danone have make innovation from the bottle, aqua bottle, to do the clothes. And in Indonesia here have the PT Langgeng Jaya have make the dakron and for the road, something like that. And maybe sometimes we're thinking, oh, plastic cannot be changed. But technology from German can make innovation from the plastic for the one of partition for the car. Maybe this is for me, and sorry, I'm not a researcher, but I have responsibility as a citizen, and I have the basic education from conservancy, so I know that. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Your comment is really good, Bu Femi. Femi or Fanny? Fenty. Yes. Oh, sorry, my ear. So the first thing is about the publication from Jenna Jambek, right? I also met her on 2016. I also told her about that. You could also, it's the same sentence that I asked her, and she said that well, actually, it need to be validated, and because she make like I said, it's from secondary data, and she get that data from the World Bank, and that she make a calculation from the people who stay in the riverbanks and the coastline, and then how many percentage of the litter that already managed in Indonesia and something like that, and that's make a big question: is it really true or not? That's why Reza Center for Oceanography, LIPI, we also make validation of the data from now. Well, actually, from last year, actually, until 2 years from now, until the end of 2019, we will calculate how much plastic or how much the debris that comes from Indonesian area, and then we can calculate, is it estimated the same number with the Jenna Jambek manuscript, Jenna Jambek publication, or maybe lower, or maybe highest, or maybe we are the biggest polluter of plastic into the ocean, maybe, but we don't know yet. Hopefully on early to 2020 we will give like the press release, is it true or not, based on our calculation. And second one, Indonesia located in the unique area. It's on the between Pacific Ocean and Indian Ocean, and I think last year we also take a sample from inlet area of the ITF. It's on the north of Sulawesi. We took the sample in that area, and well, actually, the microplastics in the input is higher than inside of Indonesia. So that's why we have an hypothesis that maybe Indonesia is not as a producer of microplastic, but we receive it. We as a sink for the microplastic, and like you said that we could not blame ourselves. We could not blame the Indonesia, because there's quite a lot of plastic debris that are already in the gyre in the Pacific Ocean. Like a collaboration from all around the country and the world that we have to prevent the waste, particularly of plastic, goes to the ocean. That's a big problem for us. Like the slide that I showed you before, on 2050, they estimated will be plastic will be more than fish, and we could not eat plastic, right? Yeah, we have to do something. Because the plastic debris is not only Indonesia problem, it's a global problem. we all around the world has to do something. Oh yeah, about the RAN. Yeah, it's not already signed by the our president, and of course KLHK or the Ministry of Environmental and Forestry already have the national action plan for preventing the debris from the land. Well, actually, it's already also included in the national action plan for marine plastic debris in the ocean. And then, of course, we also, all another ministry, it's also involved. About the blaming the industries, yeah, of course, I also didn't blaming the industries because we also still need the plastic. We use it plastic every day. We could not blaming it, but at least we can reduce the consumption of the plastics, at least by ourselves. The smaller plastic that we use, the smaller plastic that we throw into the environment, it means the less pollution that we give to our world. At least just do simple thing like that. Oh yeah, about the plastic technology industry. Yeah, I do agree with you. The industry in Indonesia has to be plastic will give a danger or direct impact to the environment. So not only by that, in the last 2 years, I also met with the people who make the plastic from the cassava from singkong. You can use it. It's as strong as a normal plastic, but when you put it on the hot water, it will just break. And I don't know if it's have a toxicity or not. We have to do some tests running on it, but hopefully it's since it's from cassava, I think it's kind of safe. And not only by that, Germany also product that change the plastic, such as the plate from the leaves. But however, we already use the leaves for the plate, right? We use like the leaves of jati, leaves of bananas. We already use it. Maybe we have to move back like 100 years ago or 50 years ago that we are not using the styrofoam for the food and beverage, but we use the banana leaves. I don't know if you agree or not, but it's just a ridiculous idea. I'm sorry. I think it's that.
Banana leaves for nasi liwet. And we have a online question from Wiwit Nugroho. What is the best method to remove microplastics from the ocean?
That's a good question. Because microplastic can also comes from the wastewater treatment. The wastewater treatment only can prevent the the pollutants such as like heavy metal pollution or the organic pollutants such as like detergent or polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon. But that technology could not prevent the microplastic. So I think at least for the technology itself, we have to use the like a filter, like the small one, like the plankton filter. For example, the mesh size of the nets or the filter is less than 1.5 microns. Maybe some of the industry already use it, like for this brand. I could not say the brand, right? But as far as I know, most of the mineral water, they use also the filter. I think that can reduce the microplastic from the water. And one of the non-GOs from Netherlands, they want to, they now still develop the equipment to remove the microplastic from the water by the same system as the like the mineral water technology, like that. It's needed more funding, much funding, but if you don't do it right now, yeah, maybe you will just eat the plastic or drink the plastic right now.
And we will end up like a plastic. Okay, another question from audience. From the very back side, the center one, yes, the blue hijabi women.
Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Upi. I want to ask about the research with Barunajaya. Are you collecting the data from the estuary or only in the ocean, in the surface water, or you also take the sample from the river or the estuary area?
With the Barunajaya research vessel, we took two samples. First one is the floating microplastic in the surface water in the open ocean. For example, when we are go expedition last year, we went to the north of Sulawesi, which is the inlet of the ITF, and the other one we went to the Simelu. Simelu is part of Aceh and North Sulawesi. We also took the data from there, and the last, not the last one, on 2015, that we took the sample of sediment in the Enggano area, and it's on the east part of the Bengkulu or Jambi, that we found the microplastic in the depth of more than 2,000 meters. And that pristine area, we found the microplastic. How about in the other area, we're still finding out. For the estuary area, we're not using the Barunajaya research vessel because the Barunajaya research vessel will get stuck in the coastline. So we use the small boat, like the picture that I showed you before. It's we put the manta troll net on the side of the small boat, and we just took it. The same method with the surface net that we use in Barunajaya, but
Okay, another question. Okay,
Sorry, Miss, I want to ask again. And how about the result? Which part of area that has more microplastic in the ocean? Estuary or in the sediment or in the surface water?
The highest one that we found in the floating area, in the estuarine area, in the next, close to the river mouth. For example, like in Jakarta, the average of the microplastic that we found is around 500 particles per liter. It's quite big. And the last one, I forgot, if I'm not forgotten, it's in Wakatobi. Wakatobi has less, the average is around 200, I guess, around 200, I forgot the exact number, but we found only in one station, we found like 20 particles of microplastic per liter in there. And more pristine area, more pristine area, less plastic that we found. More anthropogenic activities such as in Jakarta, that means more microplastic in the water and in the sediment.
enough. Okay.
My name is Fatoni from Marine Science and Technology from Bogor Agricultural University. For this topic of tiny monster of our ocean, the microplastics, I want to ask, what is the best method to find the point source of the ocean debris? Because someone did it using a numerical model like Reza did in 2006, but however the result was not so convincing, because when he did a validation using a validation card of a plastic, he threw a few plastic cards into the ocean, and he checked it out after 2 months later in the coastline of Australia. He didn't find any card, because hypothesis is that the card have a resuspension process from the ocean. And now, how do we know that the source of the plastic debris that in the ocean is from a place or from a source? Because it probably accumulated in the ocean from the resuspension process? Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. It's a research question that we want to answer actually. Me and Cory, the chair of the committee, we will looking out for the some kind of modeling. That's why we will take the sample of beach debris and river debris from at least 20 area in Indonesia to find out which area that produce the plastic or the debris come from, and then which area that will get the problem. You get what I mean? And then after that, after the validation, we will do the backward trajectory modeling, which area debris come from, and then after that we do the forward trajectory modeling to find out is it true or not. For example, we didn't know the source of the debris come from, like in Bali, in Kuta Beach, West Monsoon time. Hopefully, with these studies, on the next 2 years, we get the answer. For example, if the trash of the Kuta area is come from, for example, it is not true. For example, it's from Surabaya or it's from Makassar or maybe it's from Australia. We should ask them that this trash is from this area. So this area has to manage better than before. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. One more. What software did you use to create or the modeling process of the reverse engineering? Because I only use Mohit.
Mohit. Yeah, so I think we will use Mike, or maybe you can ask Cory for more because he's an expert to do that. Because actually, to be honest, that's why I call myself a scavenger. I will just took the sample from all area every month, and then I will give that data to Cory, and she will do the modeling. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm the scavenger too.
Yeah.
Okay, Cory, would you like to give some comment about this question before? Later? Okay. Okay, this is the very last question I would like to give to the lady with the green jacket in the 5th row at the center.
Okay, thank you. My name is Ayu from the Marine Research Center. Method that you use in Barunajaya, but especially in the sediment. It is interesting that we can find the microplastic in the sediment, because as we know that the microplastic is light density, it should be floating, right? But then you found it in the sediment. Can you maybe share more about the method you use to analyze the microplastic in the sediment? Because I also work often with the sediment, and it is interesting if I can also be a scavenger and maybe try to analyze microplastic in the sediment. And then another question is related with Bu Ina's question about the tolerance of our human body with the microplastic. Is there any evidence, or maybe you have read the publication, maybe not in Indonesia, or maybe you find in another country, that there is a victim of this tiny monster because of the microplastic, or whether our body can tolerate so that so the microplastic, we can digest the microplastic and it will be out naturally in our body. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Reza?
The microplastic that already in the ocean, I already mentioned it. It will attach by the other pollutant. Well, actually, it's not directly attached to the pollutant, but first it will attach with the organic material, such as the suspended solid or dissolved solid. That makes the weight of the plastic is higher. It will goes to the sediment, but it needs time. It depends on the area. If the area has more, organic material, so the organic material will attach directly to the plastic and will make the plastic go faster to the sediment than the open ocean. The method that we use, well, actually it's based on NOAA. NOAA on laboratory microplastic analysis on 2015. Well, actually, we are not only based on that, we also adapt the method from Nor and Obert on 2015, do the research in Singapore, or Van Kouwenberger on 2015. She did the PhD thesis on Belgium. We do the method development, and we also make some kind of equipment that can extract the microplastic. I can share it with you later, maybe not now. If you're interested, you can also go to the our laboratory and to see the equipment. Yeah, maybe if you have some suggestion to make it better, it will be good for me. Well, actually, the tolerance from human, it's still running, but not from the our institution. Maybe it's from like a medical faculty. The publication that I already read, the first one is the effect of the microplastic to the marine organism. For the short term, it not really have an effect, but for the long term, it will give an effect. Such as, you remember when I show you a slide about the tumor in the fish that already give to the fish. The fish will make a small tumor in their flesh. And the second one, there is a brain damage of the fish after the fish induced by the nanoplastic. And the last one, I just could not find time to upgrade my slide because yesterday I just read there is one effect of the microplastic to the oyster. You know oyster, right? It will give impact to the fertility of the oyster. Egg or the sperm of the oyster, it gets smaller. So maybe if the human eat more plastic, our sperm and our ovum will get smaller. Maybe it need the research. Well, actually, the microplastic or nanoplastic that goes to human body or the marine organism body, actually, our gut is really good to us. The gut gave us the mechanism to make all pollutant will release. The microplastic will go out to from our body with the feces. But how much is it? If we eat, like for example, 100 particle of microplastic, will them go out from our body? It's gonna be a challenge. It's a big research question for us. Or if you're interested, you can also join us. You can eat the microplastic, maybe. No, I'm just kidding. Our studies, starting this year, we will feed the fish with the microplastic. Well, actually, it's like torturing the fish by feeding them the microplastic, but it's for the research, right? Hopefully, we'll get the result in the end of this year, and if you're interested, I will let you know.
Okay, maybe our scavengers can do some research together. Okay, that's all for today. Big applause for Reza.